Alright, 1997, part 2 of Meteor Showers 2010. I got over my time limit. I was 2 seconds away from the 10-minute mark. So, where we left off was the Leonid's meteor shower. It peaks on November 17th again. Meteors per hour will be very highly variable. Could be as low as 40, as high as 130 this year. Last year was a very nice show for the Northern Hemisphere. There is actually a few hours of those peak. The meteors per hour exceeded 200 last year in 2009. This year it won't be as high, but it'll still be pretty decent. The Leonids, the peak lasts all night. It lasts for at least a little bit over 24 hours. But there will be kind of fluctuations in the meteors per hour when it peaks. So during its it'll peak. The peak begins at 21:18 Universal Time. So that begins in the USA. That's shortly before sunset, I believe. Not exactly sure. I think that's just shortly before sunset, or maybe an hour or two before. So it kind of begins when there's daylight in the U.S., but it'll eventually go. The radiant rises after midnight, so the best time to view the Leonids is after midnight. But Leonids is spectacular. Many meteors per hour. There's been several times there's been huge bright fireballs just light up the sky. It's really cool. I saw it last year, and it was, well, I didn't get to see the peak, though. It was nice and cloudy for most of the time. But I did see it when it cleared up a little bit. Pretty decent. Alright. Leonids. Okay. So again, it peaks on 21:18 Universal Time. I will do time conversions if you need it. Alright. Moving on to the Geminids meteor shower. Last year's Geminids was actually stronger than what they predicted. They predicted Geminids to peak at around 130 an hour. It ended up being 170, 180. Got close to that. This year, it'll be 120 or more. 120 or more meteors per hour on its peak. Its peak is a broad peak, just like the Perseids. I think it lasts about 2 days. December 13th and 14th are the peaks. 120 or more during that time. Now, for December 13th, I think it'll be up to 100, but on 14th, it'll probably be over 120. Percentage of the moon, 54, that's around half moon. It'll cause some interference. The beginning of peak is at 11 o'clock Universal Time on December 14th. That's the time of most meteors. So, I saw the Geminids last year. I watched the Geminids. It was fantastic. And Geminids are also known now to produce some pretty decent fireballs, too. There were a few fireballs last year, and none of them hit the ground, though, so that's good. The meteors are nice and slow, so they'll be easier to spot, unlike the Leonids. The Leonids meteors, they fly. They're fast. Alright, then we got one more last shower to list. The Perseids meteor shower. It peaks on December 22nd. Meteors per hour, it's kind of minor, 12 to 15. Percentage of the moon, just before full moon, 99%. Oh, no, just after new moon, actually. Time of peak is at 11 o'clock Universal Time. Perseids is like the Quadrantids. The meteoroid trail is pretty thin, so I think the peak only lasts 12 hours. So it'll probably be towards the morning in the U.S., so the U.S. will be able to see the beginning of the peak, then afterwards it'll become daylight. So if you need time conversions on any of those, leave a comment and I'll convert the time, or if you need additional information.